Everybody, welcome, welcome. I'm Heather, and today we're coming to you live like we do most every single day, Monday through Friday, so you can learn Luminess, what we have to offer, all the ins and outs, all the funness that we are, all the fun that we are. I'm going to spray some of my mist on me. I love this stuff. Ooh, love the smell. But every day we go over our starter kit. We know that there's people coming in that are at all different levels of Luminess. And so we do like to go over the basics so you know what's going on. So let's go ahead and start with that. I'll show you our Icon Pro today. This is our, we also have the Icon Pro, the Legend, and of course the Breeze. And it all comes with makeup. Now, you might order it when you get some free goodies, but it all comes with makeup. So it comes with the 2 bottles of foundation, Love, and blush. And I'll be using the blush today as well to show you how to utilize that because our blush is super high pigmented. And then, of course, we also have, for the best way to get started, is one, you want to make sure that you keep your stylus moving, not in the same place, but keep going around and around and move that around. You also want to keep it 4 finger widths away. Now, this is something that you might want to watch yourself in the mirror and just feel that air, because wherever you feel the air is where the makeup is going. And so that really helps you along the way. And then you can put water in here and then lightly pull back on that trigger. And those are things that you're going to want to practice when getting started. And so that's super important to do. Good morning. Oh, everybody jumped on. Hello, Elaine. Good to see you. Good morning, Martin. Morella, thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, Cindy. Hey, Jeannie. Good to see you. Y'all are so sweet. Sharing is caring. Yes, it is. Hello, Linda. Good to see you too. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Maria from Nebraska. I love hearing where you guys are from, so that's awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. I wanted to do a professional look. I'm still going to use the luminizers. So if you're like, oh, luminizers are just too fancy. Nope, they can be a professional look as well. So I'm going to start off using Glow. And so Glow is a highlighter. It's a true highlighter because there's no shimmer to it. And so I'm going to shake this one up, put a couple of drops of Glow into my foundation well, which is right here. Close that lid, boop, turn it on. And I'm going to do my eyes, my eyelids, and then now notice I don't stay in one spot. As soon as I make the movements first, and then pull back on the trigger. That way you don't have that immediate of makeup on your face, which is not what we want. Now, if I wanted more highlight, I'm going to go back. Hello, Luminess. Good morning. Did I say hi to you, Judy? You know when you're like doing stuff and you're like, did I say hi in my head or was that out loud? I can't remember. All right, so I'm just going to use this Glow to give me some real natural. It's very natural. It's not going to be too much, but just starting to highlight in certain areas. And then now I'm going to move to my blush. Now, I like doing blush first because it does. Hey, Jackie, how are you? Our blush does bloom, as we say. It does intensify. So you only need a couple of drops, and couple, I mean 2. If you use too much, you will look crazy. So when doing the blush, you want to make sure that you get it to the point where you're like almost loving it, and then knowing that it will come up a little bit more. Awesome, Martin. Hey, Lynn, how are you? So now I'm going to go in and do my blush. I know where the blush is going because I can feel that air. Oh, Judy loves glow. I love it. And then I'm going in. Now notice I'm switching back and forth. I'm not just staying right there at my cheek until it comes up. I'm going to go back and forth. And notice I'm not necessarily smiling. I'm kind of smirking. This is my smirk. And the reason for that, I think a while back we were always told to smile when we're doing blush. Well, the one thing with that is once you stop smiling, it's down here. And so that's why I kind of give it a halfy, where I kind of smirk. And then that way I can do it because and also because, you know, some of us are still wearing masks, I like to bring it up just a little bit more. I feel like it lifts me up and doesn't bring me down. Oh, Jeannie is the mixologist. She mixes it all. All right, so I'm gonna empty out that blush, what was left. And then now I'm going, Lynn says I finally got the rose. Oh, yes. I love that smell of that rose foundation. It has the that Bulgarian rose in it, so it gives it an amazing smell. And oh yeah, I love it. Karen says I'm an older woman with fine lines. Should I change to the rose for smoother coverage? Karen, one thing I would recommend is our velvet veil. The velvet veil is this goodie right here. This is the primer that you're going to put on beforehand with your fingers. Little bit goes a long way. I literally take it has a dropper in here. I take it out, do like this on my hands, and then just smooth it where I need it. So I would highly recommend this. You're good with either silk or rose because of the fact that they both have anti-aging properties, concealer, foundation, all of that in there. Rose is going to give you fuller coverage. But I don't want you to think, Pam's like, Velvet Veil's awesome. Because of what you said, a smoother coverage, airbrush makeup is different than traditional makeup, obviously, where we're not piling it on to give you like that makeup, like that pancake makeup look. So actually with Luminess, you don't hit those fine lines and wrinkles. You just make a couple of passes where they're going to blur. That's why I do recommend this, because this is a huge blur, and I add that many R's because it does that many things, but it helps with my redness. It helps with my fine lines here, all of that. So definitely try the Velvet Veil. Oh, Jackie, it is on, the Velvet Veil's on sale? Well, look at you, girl. Linda loves the Rose Foundation too. I know I've actually the rose is pretty much my go-to now because of the fact that the rose is medium to full coverage, and that means it has more pigmentation in it. But like, even if I want just sheer coverage, I can do just a few drops and make a couple of passes, and then I'm done. Maybe even just one pass. So that the rose has been my go-to lately, and I think a lot of it has to do with the smell because I love how it smells. Martin loves the rose too. All right. So now I'm going to go straight into my foundation. And I'm still going to do a very professional eye, and I'm still adding some luminizer. And then this is the Rose Foundation Shade 3. Turning on my system. And when I do one complete pass. So I can start anywhere on my face, just pick a spot. And then I'm going to move this around. Now, because I can smell that lovely smell. Because I have glow underneath, I don't have to go up as much. I'm just blending it together now where it's seamless. Which blush did I use? I forgot to tell y'all, didn't I? I used the Plum Blush. Plum. And I didn't even mix it with anything. I did have, which this is, you know, if you need to mix it with stuff, guys, I did, because I did glow, then blush. I had a little bit of the glow left in there. And so it did mix a little bit with that. And so, and that's another thing. Glow is great if you need to lighten a shade, because there's no shimmer in it. It will just truly lighten it. Ooh, I need to clean this. Give it a good cleaning. Let me know, how many years have y'all been airbrushing? Months or years? I always like to hear this. Oh, Lynn loves the bronzer, the bronze shimmer. I do too. Lynn, if you like the bronze shimmer, try the natural blush. It's beautiful. Hi, Diane. First time joining. Have the breeze having issues pulling the trigger. Not enough or too much? Uh-oh. So, Diane, what I would recommend is, there's a couple of things, and this happens whether you're using a stylus or the breeze. What I would recommend is, number one, make sure you're cleaning it after every single use. Every use you need to clean it, which I'm going to do right now because I have one other product that I want to use. But you do want to make sure that you clean it. Now, that being said, Karen Secchi, oh, I love it. Lynn's like, since 2009, forever. Make sure you do clean it. And I will tell you a secret about cleaning the breeze, which I'm doing right now. So I'm using some Tip Top cleaner just because I'm not at a sink. When you get towards the end, make sure you back bubble it. So it's on, I'm blocking the air and I'm letting this go. In the breeze, the needle is protected from buildup and stuff like that, but the makeup can get stuck in that little, where it goes down. And so make sure you really back bubble that to get everything out that needs to go out. Now, when practicing, whether you're using the breeze or the stylus, one thing I would recommend is put some drops, like 5 drops of foundation, take a tissue, or I actually like a paper towel because it's a little sturdier. But I fold it up like this, hold it your 4 finger widths away, start your movement and spray on that. One thing when doing this, I would say that when you start pulling back on this trigger, there is stuff coming out. There's makeup coming out, but we don't realize it. And so this helps you visualize it. And so try that, Diane, because that way in your head, you understand it. Because you might be putting it on and thinking, there is nothing coming out. But when you see it on the paper or on the paper towel, you'll see like, oh, it is coming out. And so if you can do that smoothly, then you know you got it down, okay? And I will say the good news, I think this is a little bit more on the user-friendly side. So, so you'll get it down in no time. And I know that everybody had, pretty much everybody had that issue when first starting, especially the trigger. They want to pull all the way back because they think, oh, I have to get this out. Well, that's not how airbrush makeup goes on, right? So that being said, you're not alone. All right, I'm going to do some eyes, and I am going to protect underneath my eyes. So I'm going to do oh, how funny. Cindy does it on her mirror. That is a good, actually, I used to tell people that you can do it on a mirror because you can really see it. And if you think, I mean, now that I'm explaining it to you, it makes sense, but like it's close to your skin color, so you're not going to see it. And so doing it on the mirror where you can see it a little bit, or doing it on a white paper towel, you really will see it. All right, I'm going to do some powder underneath. And who knows why I'm doing this? Anybody? Anybody? I know there's a delay, so I'm going to give y'all some time. Why am I doing the powder underneath my eyes? Pam said, I had that problem at first, but figured it out. Oh, yeah, if your face is wet, that's another good example. Your face should never feel wet or sticky or anything like that. I had a question about, yes, Linda, yes, Jeannie, yay! Powder guard for fallout. Yes, guard under your eyes. Since I already did my foundation, my makeup, I'm protecting here. So I'm going to swipe that off at the end now that I'm doing my eyes. I was on, what was I going to say? Oh, if it feels wet or sticky, you are pulling back too hard. Now, if you are, when you're doing it, know that that's what you'll get to. It's still okay, and it probably looks great. You can take your finger off the trigger and just use the air to dry it, but just kind of take it easy a little bit. All right, but just know that you'll get there. Every time you use the system, you're learning, flat out learning. All right, I'm going to use, well, I might be limited on what I can use if I highlight. Yes. So there's a couple of reasons. I'm going to use, like, I kind of want to do fun. I don't know. Let's use the optics. Why not? So there's a couple of ways. This is called a powder guard. You can also press the powder in, which I kind of did with my sponge here, my blotter, where I put that in. And it's also, you can call it baking, where it's working with your body heat and highlighting that. Drag queens first started doing this because it does give a real natural highlight. I don't like necessarily baking all the time. I do a powder guard, which means it's very light underneath my eyes. So when I go to sweep it, it just sweeps off. All right. I'm going to use the Optics eyeshadow palette, and I'm going in with Reflection. I'm going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And just go back and forth. Now, what I would also recommend, how you do your eyeshadow, whether you curve it, all of this can change a look. So if you have hooded eyes, if you have wrinkles and crinkles on your eyes, if you have wrinkles and crinkles on your eyes, you want to stick to more of a matte color. That's not saying you can't use shimmer. We just need to watch where we put it. Shimmer is going to act like airport runway lights on your eyes. It's going to draw attention, right? So right now I want to draw my attention up. So if you have hooded eyes and you're doing something in your crease, make sure you blend this up. And blending, guys, notice I'm not picking up my brush at any time. I'm going back and forth, never picking up my brush, but I start from the outside. The first spot that I put my brush is where most of the makeup's going to go, and then I'm blending this in. Okay. And I just blend. Hey, Debbie, good to see you. I hope everything is okay. All right, now see how the lines are soft. They're not harsh, very subtle. And then I'm going to go in with, I'm going to stick with that same box with the chromatic. I might do a little bit of that one. You know how I like mixing everything. And then using my finger, I'm just going to pat that on. Right on my lid. Right there. And then you just do it until you get it to the intensity. I will say that, you know, our makeup is super high pigmented. Do you remember buying drugstore eyeshadow and you had to like dig in that pan till your hand hurt trying to get the right color? Oh, you know what I was going to show? I'll show it tomorrow. My high school, my senior photos, and I got the blue eyeshadow on. I'll post that. I'll put it on the computer and I'll post that tomorrow. So you'll see a very young Heather. All right. And it didn't matter what I was wearing. I had blue eyeshadow on. Now I'm going back and just adding a little bit more of the matte color I did in my crease just to intensify it a little bit more. Okay. Now I can take this up a notch, and you know how I like taking it up a notch, and I can go in with, let's see, I think I'll go back with the nude. I've seen makeup artists do bronzer and contour at the same time, but I think it is too much. What do you prefer to use? You know, that's a good question. If your bronzer is matte and your contour is matte, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So, but if your contour, which your contour wants to be matte, should be matte, and your bronzer is shimmer, you know, then you can kind of play with it. It's just a different kind of, you know, you just have it's just the shimmer. But if they're both matte, that's the same thing. So you wouldn't need both of them, in my opinion. And I don't see why. I mean, that's like, no, don't do it. That's what I just said. Just don't do it. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of darkness in my crease, but just the outside. So right here, and I'll do one side so you can see it. Show me some love, kids. I want to see more love. Thank you, Jeannie. I'm like, because I'm all about, and I'm very passionate about teaching women and men that don't know how to do makeup, like easy ways to do it. I've said this time and time again, I love watching all the YouTubers, and like I love it. And I totally, you know, love doing things online, but I want to look like $1,000,000 when I walk out the door and only spend 15 minutes. So, and there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to do makeup, were never taught, or didn't have the mom that did makeup, or was, you know, if you weren't interested in makeup at you know, the point of your life, now you are. Oh, I said I was only going to do one, but see how that just pops it up a little bit more. Bam, bam. But you know, on other YouTube channels that I watch, I'm like, why? The one thing I never understood is when they do contouring with like a cream, and then they put a cream foundation on over that, and I'm like, didn't you just wipe that off? Like, if you're putting stuff, that's why what's so great about Airbrush is that I can do my blush, I can do my contour, I can do a lot of things first, and not have it be wiped away, right? All right, I'm now going in. Which one do I want to do underneath? I think I'll do maybe a little bit of reflection, see if that. So even though I do have a little bit of shimmer on my eyes, still a professional look, still not too crazy. Now I'm going to get my one brush that I just do for powder and swipe that away. I did a little there. Let me get a bigger brush. Martin's like, I will never go back. All right, so now One last thing, I'm going to clean this out real quick, that I want to do with the airbrush. Judy's like, never. I mean, I tell y'all that I'll try different foundations just to see how Luminess compares, and every time I'm like, the horror. I got my daughter, I was like, the horror. That's what I feel like. All right, I'm going back to my Pearl Luminizer, which I love it. Shaking it up big time. Even though I used this yesterday, you can tell that that BB was kind of stuck in there because that pigment is a little bit heavier. I came down with it. Oh no. Oh, I love it. Yep. All right, so now I'm going in with my Luminizer with the Pearl. And I love this Pearl. Look how it just like, I look like an angel. What Jeannie calls it, my my Disney princess face or skin. And Cindy, to your point, you know, Cindy said she had a cold sore and she was hesitant to put makeup on it. But to your point, like, think about the, you know, people that, you know, young girls that are starting out wearing makeup and they have acne prone skin. And when you put traditional makeup on, that all that's doing is irritating it. I mean, if you're rubbing something on your face and you have acne prone skin, it's irritating it. And so with airbrush makeup, you don't have that irritation because you're not touching it. Plus it sits on top of the skin. It's not going to settle into wrinkles and crinkles and or the acne. And it's going to be amazing. All right. Now, I'm going to switch it up today. Yes, I'm using Dusty Rose, but I'm going to use Naughty Pink. And do a little of both. I love that journey for you. That's right, Martin. All right. So, like Musette has gotten, y'all all know Musette, who's on quite a bit with me. She gets a new system and gives the other ones to her daughters. She even has everybody in her office when they were going into the office, she would tan everybody. Now I'm doing the, oh, thank you, Jeannie. Now I'm going to do the pink on top. And a little lighter. Just to change it up a little bit. So the pink isn't as bright as it would be because I have it on top of the Dusty Rose. Right? Oh yeah, Dusty Rose. So that way it will mute it a little bit. So Dusty Rose, if you don't have Dusty Rose, you need to get it because that's even great under reds. So even if you don't think that you have to line your lips with the same color of lipstick that you're using. So just know that it can change it a little bit as well. So there you go. I was going to do some liner, but I'll wait and do that later. I'm going to finish up with my eyes. I will finish up with mascara, and then I will be good to go. I know everybody, Jeannie was like, don't show new colors. I have to buy them. Everybody just start a list. Just start your list. Buy, you can buy a few at a time. Just start the list. It's all good. Wait till they go on sale. But yes, things you have to have: Nude and Naughty palette, our brushes, the blending brush, Velvet Veil, Dusty Rose lip liner, mascara, all the good stuff, right? All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this Tuesday. Yay! Diane, if you're still on YouTube, I'm so glad you joined us. Glad it's your first time, and I hope you come back. We are here Monday through Friday, every day we can, 10:30 Central Time, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. So we hope to see you back here. I'll try to remember to post the my photo, my high school photo tomorrow, so you can see how I cranked out that blue eyeshadow. And we will talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.